Ayan, welcome to another video. This is Attorney Elmer Lucero. So, magkomento naman tayo dito sa sinabi ng isang DOJ Secretary or DOJ Undersecretary, no? Regarding sa possibility na maging isang state witness si Alice Guo. Ano ba ang requirements under the rules of court para maging isang state witness ang isang akusado? Okay? So, talakayin natin. Pero panoorin natin yung video ng ABS-CBN News YouTube channel regarding sa issue na to. Tuloy tayo.
Shortcuts and the improprieties that they may have done have finally caught up with them, and they're trying to do the right thing. But sometimes kasi you take the risk when you do these things, Christian and Victoria. And I think sooner than later, there will be a resolution by the panel relative to the criminal cases kasi submitted na nga for resolution.
Okay, so ang ibig sabihin po na submitted na for resolution, so basically, there are complaint affidavits filed before the Department of Justice. And then there is a panel of prosecutors who will investigate whether or not there is a prima facie case, no, against Alice Guo. Ano ba ibig sabihin nun? Prima facie case with reasonable certainty of conviction, no? And then kapag mayroong ng ganong requirement or mayroon ng nahanap na prima facie case with reasonable certainty of conviction after the conduct of preliminary investigation, then pwede na pong i-file yung kaso sa korte. Ganon po yung proseso. Kaya submitted for resolution by the investigating prosecutors yung status ng kaso ni Alice Guo. Tuloy tayo.
Opo. At tama ba, Yusek, na parang may chances o possibility din si dating Mayor Guo na maging state witness kung talagang ilalahad niya lahat ng mga impormasyon o detalye tungkol doon sa Pogo Hub, sa mga Pogo?
Well, iyan ay challenge sa kanya. Kung mag-open up siya, truth will set you free, no? But at the same time, whether she would become a state witness or not, it all depends on the degree of her participation. Kasi state witness ka, one of the requirements dyan, Christian, is kailangan you are the least guilty. And at the same time,
Okay. So one of the requirements daw according to DOJ official, no, na the accused must be or Alice Guo must be the least guilty para siya maging isang state witness. Tama ba 'yon? Mali po 'yon. No, kasi ang nakalagay po sa ating rules of court, in order for the discharge of an accused to be a state witness, that accused that will be discharged as a state witness must not be the most guilty or the guiltiest. Hindi po the least guilty. So mali po yung appreciation ng requirement ng pagiging isang state witness dito. Kasi magkaiba po yung the least guilty and not the guiltiest. Magkaiba po yun. Ang tama po, not the guiltiest or not the most guilty. Okay? Tuloy tayo.
the evidence that you would provide are material for the prosecution. The prosecutor naman would have to determine, yung panel of prosecutor, if her testimony is necessary. So if your evidence is strong, and you want to strengthen it some more as a legal.
So, if the evidence is strong and the prosecutors want to strengthen it some more, then pwede raw maging state witness. So, mali rin po yun. Because, ang requirement po ng isang state witness or for a co-accused to be a state witness, there must be an absolute necessity for the testimony of that accused. because there is no direct evidence that would prove that a crime has been committed. Walang direct na ebidensya ang prosecution. Kaya kailangan niya yung testimony ng accused that will be discharged as a state witness. There is an absolute necessity. Yun nga yung sinasabi ng rules. Otherwise, kung hindi magiging state witness yung accused or si Alice Guo, then all the accused that has been charged for a criminal offense will not be convicted. Hindi sila makukonvict because the evidence or the quantum of evidence required in criminal cases is proof beyond reasonable doubt. So hindi yon ma-attain yung degree of evidence required in criminal cases kung wala yung testimony ng isang state witness. That is the requirement to be a state witness. Kapag strong na yung ebidensya ng prosecutor and the prosecutor wants to have it more to be more strengthened, mas palakasin pa yung ebidensya, that is no longer the requirement provided under the rules of court. Kasi ang nakalagay, there is an absolute necessity for the testimony of that state witness. Otherwise, the accused will be what? Will not be convicted. Okay? So hindi po magiging requirement ang gustong palakasin palalo yung ebidensya na hawak ng prosecutor or ng prosecution. Kasi hindi yun ang requirement under the rules. Okay? Tuloy tayo.
Legal strategy in litigation, you need to get one of the co-conspirators to speak up and be on your side.
Okay.
As long as yung statement niya are supported or corroborated by evidence. Kasi minsan madaling magsalita then i-retract mo na naman.
Okay, so doon tama naman si Yusek. The evidence that will be or the testimony that will be given by the state witness or the possible state witness is corroborated by evidence. Yung testimony that will be given again by the possible state witness is corroborated by evidence. Evidence that is already in the prosecution, in the prosecution's possession. Yung mga ebidensya na available sa kanila will be corroborated by the testimony of the state witness. Yun po ang ibig sabihin. Tama naman po yun. Tuloy tayo.
Problema talaga natin yan So, legally, we're trying to establish measures with the Supreme Court how to stop this nefarious activity of flip-flopping in their affidavits. Kasi mababa lang, at saka legislature na rin. Kasi yung false testimony at saka yung perjury, mababa lang yung penalty And they're making a mockery of our justice system.
Yusek, dito rin kay Mayor Alice pa rin, nagkaroon nga ng custody issue kasi ang akala is sa Senate dadalhin.
Ayun.
Pero biglang may warrant sa Tarlac. Ang sabi po ng DILG, ombudsman ang nag-transfer or nag-endorse nung criminal case doon sa Tarlac RTC. So, ang tanong is, pwede ba talagang mangyari yun? Parang di ba ang understanding natin, pag ombudsman, automatic sandigan bayan. Pero bakit sa Tarlac napunta?
Yan ang isang bagay na usigin namin at aralin ng mainam. Kasi ang nagpo-prosecute ng mga ganyang kaso ay normally yung ombudsman mismo. Kami naman, pwede nila kasing i-authorize kami, yung deputized na tinatawag, At doon namin malalaman ngayon kung ano yung nangyaring proseso. Kasi to be honest about it, we were as surprised as you were about that case and that warrant. In fact, ang ginamitan ng blue notice, in fairness, was the Senate warrant of arrest. Yun ho yung naging basehan at saka yung remember na preliminary investigation pa lang kasi itong mga kaso niya, mabibigat man, non-bailable man yung isa, pero wala pang korte. Wala pang naisampa at wala pang warrant of arrest ng korte. So ang naging basehan ng lahat ng mga availment of the Interpol facilities at saka yung platform na yan ay yung Senate warrant dahil nga sa contempt charge niya. Kasi that itself is sufficient naman for us to ask for assistance from other member states ng Interpol for information and data sharing tungkol sa whereabouts and yung lugar na napuntahan ng mga taong ito.
Okay, so itong last issue pertains to jurisdiction over the person of Alice Guo and over the case also. Kasi supposed to be ang nag-iimbestiga or the conduct of preliminary investigation is being done by the Department of Justice, no? But ang sabi dito, nakapag-file yung Office of the Ombudsman ng kaso and na-refer yung kaso or na-file yung kaso sa regular courts in Banban. And supposed to be, kapag ang ombudsman ang nag-iimbestiga ng preliminary or nagkakandak ng preliminary investigation, dapat ang yung kaso na na-file or the case that will be filed will be before the Sandigan Bayan. Kaya nagtataka rin dito, no? Nagtataka tayo kung bakit na-file ni ombudsman sa regular courts yung kaso ni Alice Guo. Supposed to be dapat sa Sandigan Bayan yung filing ng kaso. Considering nga na si Alice Guo ay isang mayor and the offense that has been committed by Alice Guo is related, no, sa kanyang pagiging mayor. Kasi hindi naman makakapagpatayo nung facilities ng Pogo kung hindi siya mayor ng Banban during that time. Anyway, let's have a recap as to the requirement of the discharge of an accused as a state witness. Okay? Review lang tayo or recap kung ano ba talaga ang requirements para ma-discharge ang isang accused to be a state witness. Okay. So, ano bang requirement? Paano nagkakaroon ng discharge para maging isang witness ang isang akusado? When two or more persons are jointly charged with the commission of the offense. So basically, dapat si Alice Guo mayroon siyang co-accused. Either dalawa sila or marami sila, more than two. Two or more. They are jointly charged for the commission of an offense. And then, ano ba yung requirement para si Alice Guo o yung iba niyang co-accused will be discharged as a state witness? Ano ba ang requirement para maging isang state witness? First, there is an absolute necessity for the testimony of the accused who will be discharged. Absolute necessity. So, yung sinasabi ni USEC, DOJ USEC na kung gusto pang palakasin ng prosecution yung kanilang ebidensya, then they can request, pwede nilang pag-aralan na maidagdag yung testimony ni Alice Guo kung siya man yung state witness. Mali po yun. Kasi kung malakas na yung ebidensya nila and then their pieces of evidence can stand on their own, then there's no need for an state witness. Kasi ang requirement para maging isang state witness, there is an absolute necessity for the testimony of the accused that will be discharged as a state witness. Bakit mayroong absolute necessity of the testimony? Because second, there is no other direct available evidence for the prosecution of the offense, for the proper prosecution of the offense, except the testimony of the accused. So there is no other direct evidence. Walang ibang ebidensya na maipapakita yung prosecution other than the testimony of the witness that will be discharged. Again, ang requirement or ang quantum of evidence for criminal cases is proof beyond reasonable doubt. So kung walang evidence, direct evidence that would say that the accused, these two or more accused or persons is guilty beyond reasonable doubt, wala ngang direct evidence. So they will not be convicted. Yun yung magiging effect kung hindi magbibigay ng testimony yung possible state witness. Third, the testimony of the said accused can be substantially corroborated in its material points. So, ibig sabihin, kung ano man yung mga ebidensya na available na sa prosecution, yung testimony ng possible state witness na yan will be supported by evidences available to the prosecution. Fourth, the said accused does not appear to be the guiltiest or the most guilty. So mali po yung sinasabi ni DOJ Secretary or ni DOJ Undersecretary kanina na for Alice Go to be qualified as a state witness, yung kanyang participation, she must be the least guilty. Mali po yun. Kasi ang requirement po under the rules of court that the accused does not appear to be the guiltiest or the most guilty. Hindi po the least guilty. And lastly, the said accused has not at any time been convicted of any offense involving moral turpitude. So kung mayroon na siyang conviction of an offense involving moral turpitude, there is already a question of his, anong tawag natin doon? There is already a question of his credibility. Hindi na siya magiging credible kapag convicted siya for a crime involving moral turpitude, tas gagawin mo siyang state witness. There is an issue of his or her credibility. Kapag yung tao na gagawin mong state witness is convicted of an offense involving moral turpitude. Okay? So, this is my comment with regards to the issue of state witness. The possible qualification or na posibleng maging isang state witness si Alice Go. Hanggang sa susunod, maraming salamat.